It's a battle for first place in the National League West as the San Diego Padres host the Los Angeles Dodgers. That leaves us asking not who's on first, but who's in first. This is MLB Game Night.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Yes, it is, and yes, we are. Welcome into MLB Game Night, every game, every night. I'm John Frisch. I'm one half of Locked On Angels, who were embarrassed by the Cubs. We'll talk about that. Steve Lenox, the host of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. You can find him at Lenox on baseball, joins me tonight. Coming up on today's show, the Red Sox look for their 8th straight win this season versus the New York Yankees. The Phillies get some bad news, but look to keep their winning ways going in D.C. Kyle Tucker might have just been reawakened, Frankensteined, if you will, against a team he used to crush in the AL West as a Houston Astro, the Los Angeles Angels, and it couldn't come at a better time for the Cubbies. We're going to get to all that and so much more. But first, we want to thank our friends over at 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament, and it ends on October 31st, 2025. All right, Steve, we're going to take it to the West Coast where it's still Saturday over here. I'm sorry that you're existing in Sunday right now, my friend. But the Padres are hosting the Dodgers in a very crucial series after last weekend where the Dodgers swept the Padres in Los Angeles. Padres are trying to get right back into the thick of things, and it was a battle for first place. Padres go up 2-0 in this series with Saturday's 5-1 win. Only 5 hits combined between the two teams, and the Padres are one game up in the National League West. They are, of course, in first place. We're going to hear from Javier Reyes of the Locked On Padres show, and he's feeling all kinds of good about this series win after last weekend's disappointing sweep. Let's hear from Javi right now.
This is why you don't panic after one series goes wrong. Last weekend, the Padres getting swept by the Dodgers, and so far, the Padres this weekend, 2 out of 3 games are theirs. Javier Reyes here of the Locked On Padres podcast. Things are going well. After getting swept by the Dodgers, everybody was all bad. Everybody was upset. Everyone wants someone fired. That's just how it works because baseball fans are crazy, myself included. But Padres win this one 5-1. Just an excellent game. Big RBIs from Ramon Laureano and Xander Bogaerts, which is nice to see because the latter of the two has been good for like 3 months now. One of the better players in baseball, actually. He's back, but not great with the RBIs with runners in scoring position lately. So it's nice to see him start to regress to the mean there. And also Nestor Cortes, amazing stuff. A great start from him. He's going to be a nice piece back into the rotation as we get down to the wire with these 32 games left as they try to go for the NL West crown. And again, it's just so nice that when you got a lot of people on base, you've got really a lot of depth in this lineup to be able to keep up with teams like the Dodgers. So the vibes are good. Keep faithful and stay tuned to Monday's show. It's going to be a blast.
Love that excitement and energy from Javi. Yeah, not a lot of hits like we mentioned, Steve, but they got him when they counted in this one. And he mentioned Nestor Cortes, terrific through 6 innings. He's been working his way back, building his way back up as a starter. 6 innings of 1 hit, shutout ball, no walks, that's key, and 3 strikeouts. Retired the first 16 in a row to start this one. Only hit he allowed was a 1-out single to Miguel Rojas in the 6th, came back and retired the next 2. Adrian Morejon gets the final 4 outs for the save. Steve, tell us what happened with the Dodgers in this one. Let's start it with Alex Freeland.
Yeah, Freeland had, a home run, made it a 3-1 ball game, but then Xander Bogaerts came through in the bottom half of the 8th inning to provide a little insurance for Morejon, who went through the top of the line or went through the lineup for the Dodgers in that top of the 9th inning, retired on 1-2-3. Top 2 hitters in the lineup, Shohei and Mookie Betts, both got 4 at-bats, both going 0 for 4. You keep those guys in check, you put yourself in a pretty good spot to win a game.
Yeah, looks like Nasty Nestor has reemerged, so far. So these two teams are not going to play after tomorrow's game, and in tomorrow's game, it's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto versus Nick Pivetta, both of whom have been great for their respective teams. Even with this loss on Saturday, the Dodgers are still up 8-4 in this series. So still ahead in the season series, but it could look like a different NL West when all is said and done, or they could remain tied like they were coming into tonight's game. Let's take it over to the Bronx, where the Red Sox meeting the Yankees for this third game of a 4-game series. The Sox never trailed as they beat the Yankees 12-1 in this one. The Sox have won the first 3 games of this series in the Bronx, out-hit the Yankees so far 17-7. We're going to hear from your Yankees counterpart, Jay Berman of the Locked On Yankees postcast. He's got the bad news and the bad numbers for Yankees fans.
All right, Boston can't leave town soon enough. 12-1. The Red Sox embarrass the Yankees in front of the home folks, make it 8 consecutive wins for the Red Sox over the Bombers. The Yanks are now 1-8 against the Red Sox this season. Again, they won the first game against Boston. 8 straight wins for the Red Sox since. Garrett Crochet outdueling Will Warren. In fact, Warren lasted just 4 innings through just 69 pitches in those 4 innings. As for the offense, not much of it. Again, a home run for Giancarlo Stanton, his 16th, the 445th of his career. Again, Yanks have lost all 3 games in the series to the Red Sox. They now trail Boston by 1.5 games for the top wildcard spot in the American League. Red Sox will go for the sweep Sunday night. Rodon and May are your starters. Again, 12-1 the final.
Yeah, you mentioned how brilliant Crochet was in this one. And Steve, since they're your team, why don't you do us the honors of telling us exactly what went right for the Red Sox today?
Yeah, Ryan Bayo, John, 7 scoreless in the 1-0 victory on Friday. Garrett Crochet, 7 innings, 1-run baseball, as you touched on, 11 strikeouts, struck out the side in the 7th inning. And then in the 8th inning, Yankees had a shot. Weissert is Wilson first, and then Weissert, who got the job done in the 8th inning for the Red Sox as Giancarlo Stanton was retired. But, it was one of those where the bullpen got the job done. Chapman and Whitlock had pitched in the previous 2 games, but the Red Sox in that top of the 9th inning in a 5-1 game put 7 runs on the board. Jordan Hicks then finished it off in the 9th inning. That 7-run 9th inning, that was brutal watching Blackburn out there for the Yankees. His Yankee debut, Volpe had an error in the inning. Carlos Narvaez had a 2-run home run. And it's what the Red Sox needed, because you didn't want the Yankees with base runners in the 9th inning, and all of a sudden, one swing of the bat with the bases full could have tied it up. They put the game away in the 9th inning and just solidified their dominance in this recent stretch. As Jay said, 8 straight victories against the Yankees, and they've taken the first 3 games of this series. Bayo and Crochet have been terrific.
No, that's fantastic. So I got a question for you. As somebody who's been watching this Red Sox team all season, we've seen some really great highs. We've seen some really low lows. And I think the key to the Red Sox is having consistency. Do you think that consistency is now here? And what is the cause, if so?
I think it's just a mix of everything. I mean, they won the first 2 games of this series, and they were abysmal with runners in scoring position. But they still managed to win 6-3 in the opener, where it was a 1-run game until Roman Anthony, a rookie, had a 2-run home run in the 9th inning to extend the lead. That was great. And then the pitching, I mean, Bayo has been terrific. And Garrett Whitlock said it on Sunday. Bayo's now pitching in front of me. I've got to piggyback behind him. I've got to sort of match him. And he pretty much did on Saturday. So now you've got Dustin May in the finale. You've got some guys who are getting healthy. Justin Slayton could be a big arm in the back end of the bullpen in front of Aroldis Chapman as well, and Whitlock. So you could have 2 8th-inning guys in Whitlock and Slayton going forward in the coming days. Not going to probably be there for the finale. But then you've got Walker Buehler moving to the bullpen as well. And I think that could be another bonus to add another big arm in that pen for the Red Sox going forward.
Yeah, just a little rearranging, from the trade deadline forward has really helped this Red Sox team as they look to, maintain that lead in the American League wild card. And they're doing great so far, sticking with it against the New York Yankees. Hey, we got the Phillies, who got the inevitable bad news. They probably knew it was coming, but they also got a glimmer of hope from their starter, Aaron Nola, in today's win. We'll tell you all about it on MLB Game Night. Today's show is being brought to you by our friends at 5 Hour Energy. It's time to fuel up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. When you got flavors like grape and ginger and lime, who doesn't love that kind of flavor combination? Well, that's what 5 Hour Energy Transfusion offers you. So whether you're out on the golf course or you just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the flavors you love and gives you the energy that you need. And golfers, you know that golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. So the grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion is just like that as well. So just buy, snap, and infuse your drink. And when you do, you'll have a chance to enter and win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. If you want to do that, visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. It does exclude the Masters tournament, and it ends October 31st, 2025. Back here on a Locked On MLB Game Night, where it's every game, every night. The Nationals are meeting the Phillies, and the Phillies, they get 5 runs in the fourth, end up beating the Nationals 6-4. This series is even at 1-1. Let's take it to Mark Farzetta of the Locked On Phillies postcast with what he says is the biggest story in this Phillies win. Here we go.
Top the Nationals 6-4 as Joan Duran comes in and closes this one out despite a little bit of a nail biter. He still gets his 23rd save of the season. But the big story, as far as I'm concerned, not Edmundo Sosa's 3-run home run, not Trey Turner's solo home run, but Aaron Nola giving you a quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs, only 2 of them earned. Yes, the 2 earned runs were solo home runs, but Nola comes out and gives you 6 innings, strikes out 6, allows 5 hits, and only walks 1 in his outing using 97 pitches. And in the 5th inning, things could have imploded on Nola, but he prevented that from happening. A little swinging bunt single up the third baseline. What are you going to do? Then Weston Wilson throws one off Lyle's helmet, goes into left field. You got second and third with nobody out. Nola limits the damage, only allowing 1 run to cross the plate, then finishing it off with 7 pitches for 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, so a great outing from Aaron Nola, but you heard Mark mention the Edmundo Sosa 2-out, 3-run home run off Mitchell Parker in the 4th. Trey Turner hits his 14th home run in the 5th, a solo shot off Mitchell Parker. But the big story here, of course, is Aaron Nola with his 2nd win of the season. A great line, 6 innings pitched, 3 run, 2 earned, 1 walk and 6 Ks, and just those 2 solo home runs allowed. On the other side, CJ Abrams and Luis Garcia, they both hit those solo home runs in the 6th. Garcia had a 3-hit game, an RBI double in the 8th. As they finish up this series, it's going to be Jake Irvin versus Ranger Suarez on Sunday. But Steve, my question for you regarding Zack Wheeler. He's going to be out for the year. We got the news. He's got to undergo thoracic outlet decompression surgery. It's about a 6 to 8 month recovery time. That's a really tough surgery sometimes for pitchers to come back from. Gosh, even if you remember Jared Walsh, who was a stud for the Angels there in 21 and 22, he was a former pitcher turned first baseman, had thoracic outlet syndrome and had the surgery and was never quite the same. So with this news, Steve, about Wheeler not coming back in 2025 and, his future can be questionable for the Phillies in 2026, how important do you think it was for Aaron Nola to go out there and do what he did today for the Phillies?
Huge. Not only for Aaron Nola, but a shot in the arm for the team as well. Now he's got to go out there. He doesn't need to be Zack Wheeler. But like you said, it was a quality start of 6 innings. You've bettered the bullpen. You can shorten games with Duran back there, getting him from Minnesota at the trade deadline. But, you don't replace – I mean, again, they've got Christopher Sanchez, who's been terrific this year. Ranger Suarez has got to step up too. So it's a huge blow. And I've always liked Zack Wheeler as a pitcher. And even when he signed as a free agent with the Phillies, I was just hopeful that deal was going to work out. Then he signs an extension, hopeful that it was going to work out. It's a tough one, as you said, John. It's a tough one to come back from. I think they're still learning about this procedure for baseball players. And, they say 6 to 9 months and, ready to go for spring training and stuff. I have my doubts, but I certainly hope for the best. And, the blood clot, they got rid of that, but this is still an issue for Wheeler going forward.
Yeah, it's never been an easy surgery to recover from. Historically, there have been pitchers who have been able to come back from it. So all the best to Zack Wheeler. But, you mentioned just how great that rotation has been. And I know they've even had to turn to Taijuan Walker a few times this season. And when he's your fifth starter, I think you're in pretty good shape considering the names that you mentioned, Christopher Sanchez and Ranger Suarez, right? And so to have those guys kind of leading the way and Aaron Nola kind of turning things around, I think that puts them in pretty good shape. Let's take it to the Mets meeting the Braves as the Mets hit 6 home runs in a 9-2 win over Atlanta. The Mets have won the first 2 games of this series. Listen to this. Mets have 6 or more home runs in a game for the 4th time this season. However, Chris Schubert of the Locked On Mets postcast is really impressed with another great start on the mound for the Mets and how that provides a big boost to the offense.
Oh, would you look at that? The Mets, for a second straight day, get a great performance from their starter. Clay Holmes giving them 6 innings. Did have that bumpy, rough 4th inning, but got through it and gave the Mets 6 solid. Back-to-back days with a Mets starter going deep, and look what it did for the offense. Another big night for them. Multi-homer games for Mark Vientos. Man, does it feel like the breakout for him is there. Forget what he's done up until this point. It feels like in the month of August he has turned a corner, and the Mets are certainly going to need his bat with Francisco Alvarez banged up, Brandon Nimmo right now not in the lineup. Just a lot of moving parts for this team. They need some stability, and it felt good when that lineup came out today to see Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Vientos up there at the top. Just a great night of Mets baseball in a place that has been a house of horrors for them. And tomorrow, yes, this sentence is real, they go for the sweep in Atlanta.
There you go. Something to look forward to for Mets fans if they can wind up getting that done. But he mentioned Mark Vientos, a huge night for him. 3 hits, 2 solo home runs. Feels like Mark Vientos, who, looked great last year, is finally coming around to look like that once again. Jeff McNeil, 2 home runs, including a 3-run shot in the 3rd and a solo home run in the 9th. And color me surprised, Pete Alonso also homered, his 29th of the season. It was a 2-run shot in the 7th. But Chris was impressed with Clay Holmes, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, just 2 earnies and 2 walks and 4 Ks. He's 11-6 with this win. A big matchup tomorrow as David Peterson will go for the Mets against Bryce Elder of the Braves for Sunday's finale. Steve, would you mind taking us to Detroit where the Royals meeting the Tigers for their second of 3 games in this series?
Yeah, and John, the Tigers are up 2-0 in this series as they take game number 2, 6-4. Tigers have won 5 in a row. They're back on track. They've won 9 of 10. Also a Saturday's win. They matched their high water mark for the season, 25 games over 500. Spencer Torkelson, Andy Ibanez, both solo home runs in the victory for Detroit. Ibanez pinch hit home run in the 8th inning. Jake Rogers, RBI double in the 3rd, RBI single in the 5th inning. Chris Paddock notches the win. Paddock had some interesting comments. Went 5, gave up an earned run. Had a conversation in the dugout with A.J. Hinch about, hey, you're done after 5. We've got a plan here. And when he came over from Minnesota, it was all about A.J. Hinch. Loves to talk and loves to communicate with his players. Paddock thought he could have gone longer, but understood, and the bullpen took care of business, and he understands. He actually called A.J. Hinch a genius at the beginning of his statement that I saw on X, and it was like, oh, boy, here we go. But he actually tipped his cap to A.J. Hinch, understanding, hey, you communicated with me. I understand it, and we do have a bullpen. We're looking for more in October than me going 6 or 7 innings in a start in late August. I like that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you gotta conserve a little bit as you work your way toward the end of the season, and with such a cushion of 25 games over 500, you're back to the best record in the American League. Like that goes a long way for you, and so to conserve a little bit and save Chris Paddock for when it's really going to count, I think that's very wise. The Pasquatch on the Royals side got an RBI double in the 4th. He's got a streak of homering in 5 games that came to an end today. Bobby Witt Jr. hit a solo home run for the Royals. Tomorrow on Sunday, it's going to be Seth Lugo facing Jack Flaherty. Hey, when you need a get right series, how about getting right against a team that you used to crush with your former team? That's what Kyle Tucker did, and we'll tell you about it next on MLB Game Night. Oh, Steve, I got to talk about this one. Look, I have no ill will toward the Chicago Cubs. In fact, my father-in-law is a huge Cubs fan. My wife and I went to Chicago. We got to tour Wrigley, and so I have a special place in my heart for Wrigley Field. Unfortunately, the Cubs have come into Anaheim, and they've taken the first 2 games of this 3-game set, and they just embarrassed the Angels 12-1 on Saturday night. And it was because of Kyle Tucker, who for a month, a little over a month, has really struggled. It's been, since late July that he hit a home run. Well, he hit one Friday night. He hit one on Saturday night as well. In fact, he had 3 hits, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and he had a 2-run home run in the 3rd and a 3-run home run in the 6th. That puts him at 21 home runs and 68 RBIs on the season. And if Cubs fans don't know, before they got him from Houston, he used to crush the Angels every time they played. In fact, I think he had a career 280 average against the Angels. And so I knew coming into this series that it was going to be a get-right series for Kyle Tucker, and it couldn't come at a better time for the Chicago Cubs because they need him in addition to Michael Busch and Pete Crow Armstrong, right? They need him to be a crucial part of this team. And we all know that the offense has been scuffling, but this week was a better week for them, especially taking on the Milwaukee Brewers the way that they did. Reese McGuire, who was batting in the 9-hole tonight, he had a grand slam in the 4th inning. So again, it was just the Cubs pouring on the offense onto the poor Angels. But it didn't stop there because Cade Horton, Steve, had himself a great night on the mound for the Cubs, didn't he?
Yeah, and credit to the rookie because he gets the run support and he goes out there and works 6 scoreless innings. He's been terrific.
Yeah.
8-4 with the win, 11-6. The Cubs are 11-6 when he makes the start this year. Good job by you. You mentioned earlier before we went on air with Locked On MLB Game Night that you picked him up in fantasy. He's got 7 scoreless outings now in the season. Last 7 starts, 37 innings. 2 earned runs, 2 runs total allowed in those outings, 37 innings covered.
Yeah, just incredible stuff from him. Again, somebody who has emerged and is going to help the Cubs, fight their way into a playoff spot.
Hey, can I ask you real quick, John?
Yeah, hit me.
Your fantasy team, what Angel players do you have on your fantasy team?
0 right now. I've had Taylor Ward, I've had Nolan Shawnuel, and I've had Joe Adell, who I mistakenly dropped earlier this week because he just hit his 29th home run of the season tonight to go with his 79 RBIs. But, I'm panicking because I'm in semifinals and I'm just making all kinds of moves. But I've been a Joe Adell fan since he came up, and I'm super happy to see him having a great season. So that was the one bright spot I guess I could talk about as an Angels fan. All right, Steve, take us to Milwaukee as the Giants met the Brewers today.
Hey, and John, the Cubs do pick up a victory against the Angels, and they also pick up a game in the NL Central as well.
You're right.
Brewers at home. Giants snap a 4-game losing streak, win 7-1. That series now even, a game apiece. Logan Webb, 12-9 with the victory. 6 innings, 1 earned run allowed. He walked 2, struck out 5. Casey Schmidt, RBI double in the 6th inning. That tied the game at 1-1. Schmidt, 3-run home run in the 7th inning to make it 6-1, number 9 for Schmidt. Freddie Peralta was going for his MLB best 16th win, worked 5 scoreless for Milwaukee, ended up with a no decision.
Yeah, not the outcome that you would expect with Freddie Peralta on the mound. And of course, it wasn't his fault, but turns out that the Giants were able to come away with that one. Let's take it to Baltimore, where the Astros go up 3-0 in this series against the Orioles with Saturday's 9-8 win, the slimmest of margins, but it was Brian Abreu who recorded 2 groundouts and a strikeout, worked a 1-2-3 9th inning to close the door on the Orioles, registered his 3rd save and 2nd in 2 consecutive nights in Baltimore. Hey, how about this? The Astros hit 4 home runs, 3 in the 5th, 3 in a 5-run inning in the 1st. The game was tied at 5-5 after 2 innings, and then tied 7-7 after the 5th. So just a crazy offensive outpouring. Carlos Correa hits a 2-run home run in the first. Jesus Sanchez, who they got from the Marlins, hits one. And Victor Carantini with a 2-run home run. All three off Dean Kramer, who gave up 7 runs and 5 innings and took a no decision. Now, I saw him having a little conversation with the Orioles catcher, Samuel Bisello, who just got the extension. And I don't know if there was some miscommunication there, but, Dean Kramer's never been a fantastic starting pitcher, but you wonder what the conversation was there. The Astros are going to go for the sweep on Sunday because Christian Walker broke up that 7-7 tie with a 2-run homer of his own. Spencer Arvegetti, who's not been great for the Astros lately, he faces Tyler Rogers in the finale. Let me take you. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Just real quick. You know what's great about Tyler Rogers starting on Sunday in the finale against the Astros?
What's that?
Easy enough. He doesn't start in the upcoming 4-game series that starts in Baltimore against the Red Sox on Monday.
There you go. Love to hear that. Let's take you to Pittsburgh, where the Pirates win 5-1. They've won the first 2 games of this series. The Pirates are now 38-30 at home. Let's hear from Gary of Locked On Pirates on how a game like today kind of demonstrates where the Pirates might be able to go in the future.
Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Colorado Rockies 5-1 here, came 1 strike away from their 16th shutout of the season. Hey, this is Gary from Locked On Pirates. Look, I have no illusions as to what team the Pittsburgh Pirates are beating right now or the type of team that the Pittsburgh Pirates are. The Pirates have 37 home wins this year. They have a 37-30 home record, which makes absolutely no sense compared to their overall 55-74 mark. They have as many home wins as the Rockies have wins. So I can only take so much from this series. But what I can say is that the young pitching continues. Mike Burrows today, followed by Carmen Mlodzinski. Colin Holderman somehow got through his inning untouched. And then Yohan Ramirez gave up the solo blast to Brenton Doyle in the bottom of the 9th. That really was irrelevant to the game, but the pitching has really, really been there. And the hitting has been too in this series. Pirates need to find a way to have the hitting show up a lot more often. And they do have some guys trending in the right direction, including Jared Triola, who had a home run tonight. And whether you decided on him or not, his bat's showing you otherwise here at the last stretch of the season. That's a guy that I think that you're going to count on next year. Let's hope that it continues. More on this Monday on Locked On Pirates.
On the Rockies side, it was that Brenton Doyle home run in the 9th that kept them from being shut out for the second straight night. And then Hunter Goodman, who's had a great season for the Rockies, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. We call that a golden sombrero. Now, Paul Skeens does go in the finale against McCade Brown, who's going to be making his debut for the Rockies. Let's take it over to Texas, where the Guardians are meeting the Rangers, and the Rangers blank the Guardians 10-0. They've won the first 2 games of this series, the 12th shutout win of the season for the Rangers, and this time it was behind Jack Leiter, who is 8-7 on the season now, 7 innings pitched, just 2 hits, both singles, 10 strikeouts, no runs, no walks. Leiter and 2 relievers go for a combined 3-hitter. Cody Freeman, Josh Young, and Adolis Garcia, each with 2-run home runs. Justin Latta of Locked On Guardians is none too impressed with what he might consider the worst game of the season. Let's hear from Justin.
The best part about the Guardians game with the Rangers on Saturday is that it ended. That's literally the best part. Justin Latta here from Locked On Guardians. And it ended in 2 hours and 11 minutes. So even though the Guardians got a good old-fashioned backyard butt whooping from the Texas Rangers, they were nice enough to do it thanks to Rob Manfred in 2 hours and 11 minutes. Austin Hedges didn't even pitch in this game. That honestly would have made it better. It would have made it more entertaining. There has not been a lot of unwatchable baseball in Cleveland over the last 12 years or so, but there have been some moments that should have been very unwatchable. The Guardians, I'm not ready to declare them dead yet because they have a lot of teams that are in the wild card hunt in front of them that they could play, and if they find a way to turn it back on in one of those stretches, they can get themselves back into it, but it doesn't look like a club that's capable of doing that right now. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, if you don't want to watch the Guardians, I totally understand, but you can watch Locked On Guardians.
Pittsburgh.
Oops, my bad. I cut off Justin there a little too soon. Didn't mean to do that, but you can find him and Jeff over at Locked On Guardians, who do a fantastic job. And they're riding high after that big win streak they had, and so I don't know if you want to declare them dead, because Guardians have a way of surprising you. But Steve, would you take us to the desert where the Reds met the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Yeah, we already talked about the Mets winning in Atlanta. The Reds losing 10-1 on Saturday in the desert against the Diamondbacks. D-backs have won the first 2 games of that series. So the Mets now a little breathing room for that third wild card spot in the National League, as the Reds did go into this weekend just a half game behind the Mets. They've not been able to take advantage of the Mets' recent struggles, but the Mets now on track. Geraldo Perdomo, 2 hits, 2-run home run, that in the 4th inning. Also had an RBI single in the 8th inning. John Lourdes Gurriel, RBI single in the first, 2-run home run, that in the 3rd inning. And Blaze Alexander, 3-hit game, double home run, knocked into. Reds have dropped 3 in a row and closing out their series against the Diamondbacks on Sunday. Then they go to L.A. 3 with the Dodgers starting on Monday.
What a week that Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is having right now as well. Let's take it to the Twins meeting the White Sox. The White Sox even up the series with a 7-3 victory. Todd of Locked On White Sox tells us which heavy hitter got it done for Chicago against Minnesota.
Colson Montgomery continues to amaze. Hello, I'm Todd Welter, host of Locked On White Sox, and the White Sox beat the Twins 6-3. Montgomery's first career grand slam in the 2nd inning is a big reason why Chicago won. It was Montgomery's 12th home run, and he's only played 41 career games. Imagine how great he can be once he starts to improve his average and on-base percentage. But for now, I'll take the .528 slugging percentage and the double-digit home runs in such a short span. Luis Robert Jr. belted a solo shot in the 8th inning, and Davis Martin pitched 5 strong innings where he allowed just 2 solo home runs and struck out 6. And I'll have more on Monday's episode of Locked On White Sox.
Yeah, it was Mick Abel on the other side for the Twins, who came over from the Phillies in that Johan Duran trade. Not a great debut. 3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 earned runs there. Steve, take us down to Miami, where the Blue Jays met the Marlins in Game 2.
And the Blue Jays stay 5 up on the Red Sox in the AL East for the top spot right now. They get a run on a Bo Bichette RBI single in the top of the 12th inning. Bichette, 4th hit of the game. Blue Jays have taken the first 2 games of the series. Win Game 2, 7, 6, and 12 after Bichette's RBI single. Brendan Little, 1, 2, 3, bottom of the 12th inning. Little picking up the save, first on the year.
There you go. Finally, we'll give it to the Mariners and the A's meeting up in the Pacific Northwest. The A's win 2-1 in 10 innings, and they take the series as well. It was Hogan Harris entering with 2 on and 1 out, got the second out, walked Cole Young to load the bases. Randy Arozarena, who tied the game with a home run earlier and kissed his bat going down the line. Well, he grounded out to end the game, so the A's take this one 2-1. Mariners are 3 games behind the Astros for first in the American League West. Shea Langoliers, stop me if you've heard this before, 2-out RBI double in the 10th, put the A's up 2-1. Tyler Soderstrom 0-for-3 with 2 walks in this one. His 20-game hit streak comes to an end. Despite George Kirby's best efforts on the mound, the Mariners just fall short. Finally, St. Louis and the Rays, they're going to meet on Sunday because they're avoiding a conflict with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who played on Saturday. So they did not play on Saturday, but they will finish things up on Sunday with the Cardinals and Tampa Bay going for the series finale on Sunday. Thanks for being here for this episode of Locked On MLB Game Night. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We hope you'll come back and visit us for more MLB Game Night, where it's every game, every night.